Esther, right? So,
Purim is out of the book of Esther. All right. Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, Priest and Captain Soccer War, holding down the class live from Memphis every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We have class here in Memphis from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Since 1969, the Israelite School of UPK has been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2024, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who they are, where they come from, and what their purpose is on the earth. We're here at the Memphis School tonight. The address to the Memphis School is 3000 Walnut Grove Road. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. The calling number is 901-249-0085. 901-249-0085. And tonight we are celebrating the opening of the Feast of Purim. Everybody give the Lord a hand for the Feast of Purim. The Feast of Purim is one of the memorial uh, of the children of Israel that are recorded in the Bible. This is not a day that was established by the Most High in the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, where all the other high holy days of the Israelites come from. Rather, Esther, Purim, like the Feast of Hanukkah, are memorial services, right? A memorial service is us remembering a great act or remembering something amazing that the Lord had done for our people in our past. And it was something that the people came together and said, we are never going to forget what the Lord did for us. We are going to commemorate and memorialize this event for all generations to hold on to and remember. All right. And you can find the story of why we celebrate the Feast of Purim in the book of Esther. All right. So real quick, when we go to the end of the book of Esther and get a breakdown of just what it is we are remembering for the Feast of Purim. And then tonight, the lesson that I want to teach is titled "A Woman's Virtue," a lesson from our sister Esther. Everybody understand? And what the book of Esther highlights, and what is being memorialized for the Feast of Purim is a woman's ability. All right, we're going to get into some details of the specific ability that Esther displayed that led to us being able to celebrate what it is that we celebrate for Purim. And I think it's an important lesson for all sisters to learn from that. Uh, all of us have a God-given virtue, and it's important for you to recognize what yours is and to hone in on it, focus in on it, and to be thankful and appreciative of the gifts that the Lord has given you, because we all have them. Everybody understands? So that's what we're going to go into today. But let's go um, to the book of Esther, chapter 9. We are going to go to verse 20. All right. We're going to read from Esther, chapter 9, verse 20. And it says, and Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, both nigh and far. King Ahasuerus, in history, his name was Xerxes. Everybody understands. You go and look in Google, or go looking to the history records. King Xerxes was a king over the Persian and Mede Empire. His name is spelled Xerxus or Xurxes. All right. Xerxes ruled over the Persian Empire, And the book of Esther records a time during his rulership where there was some turmoil concerning his very public uh, shaming of him in his relationship. We're gonna go into the beginning of the book of Esther to get some breakdown on that. But just if you wanted to know what time period we're talking about, this is King Xerxes is the king Ahasuerus who's being referred to here in the book of Esther. All right, this is Esther chapter 9, verse 21. To establish among them that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar and the 15th day of the same yearly as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them, because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast pur, that is, the lot, to consume them and to destroy them. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Wherefore they called these days Purim after the name of Pur. Therefore, for all the words of this letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took upon them and upon their seed and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail, that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing and according to their appointed time every year. Everybody understands? And that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, and every city, and that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed. Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim. And he sent the letters unto all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the king Ahasuerus with words and peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed the matters of the fastings and their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book. Everybody understand? So there's the establishment of the Feast of Purim, and it being declared by Mordecai and Esther that all of Israel should remember it forever in all our generations, because it was a time where the Most High delivered us from an evil device that was devised against us. And in the days that we were supposed to perish, we were able to see our enemies be taken in the trap that they tried to set for us. Everybody understand? Now, what was it? What was the virtue that Esther possessed that brought us to being able to celebrate this Feast of Purim? What was the gift that she was given from the Most High? What was the ability that she had on display that made it possible for us to be able to be here today? That's what we're gonna go into. That's what we're gonna go into, and that's the question that we're gonna have answered before the day is over. Everybody understands? Many people might think that Esther's virtue was that she was beautiful. They might say, well, Esther was so fine and so, amazing to look at that's why the king chose her, and that's why she was made the queen, and that's why she was gained favor. But as you examine the book of Esther, that was not at all what it was that Esther used in order to be able to gain the favor of the king. But Esther was a very beautiful woman. Let's go ahead and get into the scriptures, all right? Let's get Esther chapter 2. Let's start at verse let's get Esther chapter 2. Start at verse 1. All right. Because I want to focus in on Esther before we go and deal with Vashti. All right. Mm-hmm. So Esther chapter 2, starting in verse 1, it says, After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, Let there be fair young virgins sought for the king. So the king has just gone through a breakup. The relationship with his last woman ended, and he's upset about it. And so, for a man that has a lot of power, has a lot of money, well, how do you get over losing a woman? You go and you get more women. All his servants said, "Well, listen, I know you mad about this Vashti broad, but we need to go get some young fine things and bring them before the king." So that's where we start with Esther. They looking for young fine women to bring before the king, so he can choose which one he like. Everybody understands. All right, just drop down to verse 5. It says, Now in Shushan the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shemi, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. So this is establishing the pedigree of Mordecai. Mordecai is a Benjamite from the family of Kish, the son of Shemi, the son of Jair. Everybody understands. And he came out of Jerusalem into Babylon in the days when we went into captivity. And he found himself in Shushan, which was the palace, which was the what's the word I'm looking for? It's like this. It's the Shushan. The palace would be like, okay, everybody. We in Memphis, right? What's that island that's downtown? Harbor Town. You been to Harbor Town? He ain't never been to Harbor Town. Shushan the Palace would be like Harbor Town. It's a place where the rich and the wealthy people live, right? But it's also a place that's in the city, but it's just away. It's like a gated place. But today we think of a palace, we just think of one big building. But a palace at that time was like a complex. It's like a area of the city where it would be like a college campus, right? College campuses are not separated from the city. They're in the city. But once you get on campus, you know the way it's laid out, the way the buildings are set up. This ain't like the rest of the city. Well, back in these times, that's how palaces were established. It's like it's an area where rich, wealthy people live. Also, the king lives in the biggest house on the highest hill. But throughout the day, the king could come outside and be walking around, and there's people there. You ever hear about the king's court? The king's court wasn't like uh if you think of a show like Game of Thrones, people think the King's Court was some secret place where you couldn't really get into. That's not the case. The King's Court was just a place where all the rich people hung out. It'd be like going to a fancy, swanky restaurant or something like that. You there because you're somebody of influence. You're somebody that got money. It's like going to a golf club or something like that, country club. It's not that it's a separate, isolated place with a gate around it. It's just if you don't belong here, everybody know who's this guy. The hell you doing here? Well, Mordecai lived in that place because he was, he was a Jew. He was of high status, high stature. That's why he lived in Shushan the palace. Everybody understands. So let's keep reading. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther. Why is this Esther have two names? Why is she Hadassah, that is Esther? Why does the sister have two names? Anybody want to guess? Sis. Is one her Hebrew name? Yes. Hadassah is her Hebrew name. Esther was her slave name. Everybody understands. Very much how today you may have, I'm Soccer War, but at the slavery, I'm chief. Everybody understands. Or my government name, Kevin. Nobody that knows me calls me that. But at the slavery, when I'm signing these papers and when they look at my ID badge, they see my slave name. Everybody understands. That's always been an Israelite custom when we were living in lands of captivity. Amongst ourselves, we had a name, but then amongst the heathen, we went by a name that was suitable for them. Everybody understands. You find that also in the book of Daniel. You'll find that in the book of you'll find it all throughout different books in the Bible where we had our Hebrew name and our slave name. Everybody understand? So Esther's Hebrew name was Hadassah. All right. It says, and he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter. So we see here, she was beautiful. This was a fine sister. Everybody understands. But was that her virtue? Was that her gift? Right? Being beautiful is a quality that a lot of sisters possess. And being a beautiful woman gives you access oftentimes to opportunities, places, and people that a sister who's not blessed with that gift or as much of that gift has access to. Everybody understands. And just living in the real world as we all do, there's a lot of talk about pretty privilege and different things like that. There's a certain aesthetic that in today's society is desired and is preferred, and the women who have that desired aesthetic, they have access to things that women who don't really have. Everybody understands. It's just the reality and the fact of life. And Esther was one of those sisters. Esther was one of them bras that she's fine enough for when they looking for a woman for the king. This woman is presented and it's like, damn, the king need to see this bra. Everybody understands. So she was a beautiful sister. But being beautiful does not mean you're desirable as a woman. Being beautiful doesn't mean you have ability, you have virtue. Everybody understands. The Bible tells us in many different ways that a woman's beauty should not be the standard or the measure that causes her to be chosen by a man. Everybody understands. First place we're gonna go. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 31. The Bible is very much very direct in the instructions that are given concerning women, that beauty is really the least important factor when it comes to choosing a woman. And that goes contrary to everything that we're taught in the world, because in the world, women are viewed as objects. Women are viewed as something for a man to do or something for a man to enjoy. When biblically, women are treated as though they are people, which they are. And if you as a man are going to deal with a woman the way that God said a man should deal with a woman, then you should choose a woman because the person that she is, because of who she is and how she thinks and the way she lives her life, not because of how pretty she is or how nice her body is or how much you think you may enjoy her. Everybody understands? Proverbs chapter 31, verse 30 says, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. What does that mean? That favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. Ash.
I mean, if everybody favoring, you can get, lost in it. What I mean? Tricked by it. Everybody think about how beautiful she is.
Okay. So when it says favor is deceitful, who has the favor, or who is giving the favor?
Well, the man is choosing the woman.
Okay. No. This is not speaking to the woman, this is speaking to a man.
Right.
Favor is deceitful. What is a woman's favor? What does a woman favoring you look like?
What's the favor me look like?
She's favoring a woman favoring you. It's saying favor is deceitful. So what does a woman favoring you look like?
She on you.
She on you.
Right.
She choosing us. Hey, Big Daddy. But they call me Big Daddy, House. I don't know what to say to you. They call, hey, Big Daddy.
Nope.
They say, hey, Big Daddy.
Right.
Oh, they, you know what I'm saying? They got when a woman on you, We call it choosing. Woman choosing up. You got to be careful. Just because she choosing don't mean you should. She deserve to be chose too.
Right.
Favor is deceitful. That's how cats get robbed. Yeah. That's how you get. You meet some woman outside and you think, man, she all on me, man. Yeah, she want to go home, leave the club with me. You thinking, no, you just your head in the clouds. You know what I'm saying? You so green because a woman done shows up. You thinking you done hit the jackpot. You trying to get it back to the crib. Next thing you know, she's sending a text and them niggas is following you home. So she's sending a text and dropping the location. You get her home, you think something about to go down, then you get robbed. Get your car stolen, get your jewelry took, you know what I'm saying? If you in the streets, whatever money you got, now you got robbed. Why? Because favor was deceitful. Some of these women, they choosing men because they know that men have money. They choosing men because if I get pregnant by him and have his baby, I can put him on child support. Some women choose him because they know you're a good man. You brothers is in the truth. You think these women don't know that you're a good man? You think they don't know that this is a man that's going to love me and going to want to be with me, and he'll do anything to keep me because he's spiritually he has to do that. God said he's supposed to keep me. You think she's not going to try to hunt you down and make sure that she gets you to fall in love, or make sure that she gets you to have sex or to make a baby so now she can say you stuck with me now? Favor is deceitful. You cannot be caught up in a woman choosing you because you don't know what her motives are. You don't know what her desires are. Be careful, man, because favor is deceitful. Everybody understands. Beauty is vain. She look good now. She looks wonderful. She's pretty, nice body, all of that. But what is she like after she has a drink or two? What is she like when she doesn't get her way? What is she like when you don't have the money to take her out and to buy the nice things that she like? What is her mouth like? You understand? How does she act when she's not being favorable towards you? Don't be caught up in a woman's beauty because that beauty goes out of the window when you find out who she really is, when you find out how she really acts, when you hear the way that she talks to you. Everybody understands. Beauty doesn't mean anything. I don't care how bad a broad is. As a man, if you meet a woman that's super fine and she ain't got no man, she ain't got no kids, she ain't, she's just single, you got to say to yourself, why? Right. What happened why did the last man let you go? Why did he throw you away? Or maybe she threw him away. But why? How you out here single? And then, okay, you single and then you choosing me? Why? What you think I'm going to do that the last nigga didn't do? Sometimes, brothers, you got to ask yourself those questions. Don't be so caught up in thinking you just such a player. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you just a sucker. Maybe you a sweet lick. Brothers got to think about that. Don't just look at the woman and be like, yeah, man, I can't wait to get my hands on that. Because she's saying the same thing about you. And most times as men, what have I done for her to be thinking like that? Right. You got to stop and ask yourself and don't get so caught up in the carnality of it. You got to deal reasonably when it comes to choosing a woman. And a lot of the times you'll find out, yeah, man, this is a trap. Yep. Everybody understands. So even though Esther was beautiful, that was not her gift from the Lord. You sisters out there's a lot of sisters that are beautiful, a lot of sisters that are very desirable to a man, but you have to know that that is not your gift from the Lord. Everybody understands. All women are beautiful in their own right. For every sister that's out there, there's a man who's going to see you and you are a 10. Everything that he wants and everything that he desires, and he's going to love to have you and thank the Most High for you. How you look based on what society standards are to the aesthetic that is preferred in by today's standards should have no bearing on your value and your worth as a woman to the man who chooses you. Everybody understands. So it's important that sisters understand that even though society places status on a certain look, that's not what the Lord says is the standard for how a woman should be chosen. So even though Esther was a beautiful sister and her being beautiful is what gained her access to the position she was in to marry the king, that was not her gift. Right. That was not her virtue. Everybody understands. So let's go back to the book of Esther. Go back to the book of Esther, and we are going to go to see book of Esther, and we are going to go to um. Uh, all right, let's go down to hold on. All right, hold on to that. All right, hold on. Um, all right, all right, hold on. All right, hold on. Um, I get Esther chapter 4. We're gonna start at. I'm gonna run the breakdown. I'm gonna run this run down some. They call it exposition. I'm gonna fill in some of the story up until the point that we're gonna start, which is gonna be Esther chapter 4 and verse 1. Right. So Esther was chosen by the king. He was made one of. She was made one of the king's concubines. Right. Concubine was at this time was a woman that belonged to the king, but was that's what I'm looking for. Concubine is like I'm trying to find an appropriate word to use, right? A concubine was a woman that belonged to the king, right? She was his woman, but she was his woman for when it was convenient for him to deal with her. And in exchange for being ready for the king whenever he called on you, a concubine was furnished with all the things that she needed to live a comfortable life. Everybody understands? So Esther lived in the palace, meaning what? She had one of them nice apartments in the penthouse area of the city, and she had some, she had maids and women who waited on her sisters that was there for her to brush her hair and help her pick out her clothes and things like that. And she went to the gym and worked out every day. She had her crew of girls who hung with her, and she just was on standby for whenever the king called for her. But the rule that the king had was, you can't call on me. You there for when I call you. Don't come to my house. Don't come ringing the doorbell asking for me unless I call for you. Or else, if you call on me and it's some stupid shit, then you're going to lose your place. Everybody understands? Those are the rules of the king at that time. If you was one of his concubines, you do your thing, live your life. You can't have sex with nobody else. You can't be with nobody else because you belong to me. But you there when I call for you. Don't come calling for me. Everybody understands? So there was rules to how this thing worked and how it didn't work, right? So during the time after Esther had became one of the king's women, there was a man named Haman who also lived in the palace. And Haman was an Edomite. And Haman, being an Edomite, hated the Israelites. Everybody understands? Even though Haman and his people were subject unto the Persians during that time, he didn't have a problem being a servant to the Persians. But he did have a problem with uppity niggas. It's almost like today, living in the world we live in, you may work in slavery. We all on this slavery together. We got a boss and we got supervisors. But an Edomite on the job will hate you because you're good at your job and you're better than him. And he can't say anything about how well you work or how hard you work or your value to the company. But he can slick hate on you other ways. You know, why is he, it's been 40 minutes. He's not back from break. Right. Or how come he's able to, come into work and he doesn't have to, just find something. There's always a way a devil will find a way to let you know I don't like you. Right. Haman was this way with Mordecai. Mordecai, again, he's one of them upstanding brothers. He lives in the palace. He works in the palace. He getting good money. He's got a good reputation. But Haman notices that everybody says hi to me when I walk in the door of the palace where we all live. I pass through the community. Everybody acknowledges me. Everybody pays me respect. Except for this Jew nigga named Mordecai. Mordecai the only one that won't bow when I come through. Mordecai the only one that won't salute me when I'm present. And it burns this Edomite to no end. So how dare this nigga not acknowledge me? So this Edomite comes up with a game plan to destroy Mordecai and all the Jews. See, an Edomite can't just be mad at you. It can't just be you he mad at. He hates all niggas because of you. Yeah. You're not saying hi. He wants to kill the whole community, burn down the whole city because this one nigga think he better than me. Well, that was Haman. And Haman set out to use his power and his influence to get Mordecai and all the Jews destroyed. And he was effective at getting his plan put in motion. And when the news of this plan came down to Mordecai and to brothers and sisters in different parts of the land that the Persians ruled over, it was a dreadful thing. And when the news came down, this is where we're going to pick up in the book of Esther. Everybody understands? So in Esther chapter 4, verse 1, it says, when Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry. And came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. What does that mean? Israelites had a custom of, in times of mourning and in times of danger, in times of being afraid, we made it a public display. Everybody understands? We weren't the type of people to pretend like everything was all right when things were not. So putting on sackcloth, tearing your clothes, throwing dirt on you, it's the opposite of how we normally present ourselves. Normally, we dressing nice, we clean, we put on oil on our skin, and hey, what's up? How you doing? Everything good? But in times of mourning, we let it be known, man, things is not all right. Everything is not good. Everybody understands. And living where they lived, you could not come to the king's gate. You could not come to the country club. You couldn't come to the fancy restaurant where the rich and powerful people hung out dressed in sackcloth. There was a what they call it, a dress code. Right. When Mordecai's mourning, he doesn't fit the dress code to come past the gate, which is why he's outside. Everybody understands. Let's keep reading. And in every province, whither so the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. Everybody understands. Why was there fasting, weeping, and wailing in all these places? Because that's another custom of the Israelites. In times of great danger, in times of peril, we fasted. We wept openly. We cried. We came together and prayed with one another. You understand? We've always been a very communal people. Right. And a people where if something happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. We've never been a people where that's their problem or that's their situation. And that is the type of community that we fostered here in the ISUPK. You understand? When a brother or sister is going through something, it's not just, oh man, it's messed up what happened to so and so. It's no. We're gonna pray. We're gonna send up prayers and ask the Most High to be with them, to strengthen them, to help them to get through it. And that is really how we overcome our issues and our problems. Everybody understands?
So would that be like saying that we like curse, like we doing it to ourselves? We acknowledging like we curse and we made the Lord unhappy or whatever. Does that have anything to do with that? As far as like the morning, like we like man, we didn't fucked up. Everybody know we need to.
Nah, it's more so we want the Lord. Okay, it's more so everybody needs to know this ain't all right.
Okay, yeah.
It's less, man, we messed up, and more, don't act like everything is okay, because it's not. Okay. Don't walk around acting like everything, like today, in today's society, black people have a thing where you're supposed to not let nobody know you're going through something. Right. You're supposed to not let nobody know you sad and not let nobody know that you depressed or that you beat down, when it was the opposite in the past. In the past, when I'm going through something, everybody gonna know I'm going through something. And everybody should respect that I'm going through something. Everybody should see me in this sackcloth with my clothes ripped and with this dirt on me and say, damn, man, that brother going through it, man. Let's pray for him, man. Let's, right. You know what I'm saying, send up some prayers. Or somebody say, man, what's up with us? So-and-so, man, looking down, what's going on? Man, you ain't know his mom's passed away, man. Nah, sister's, oh, man. Now he down. We all down. Right. Until we all gonna mourn together. You mourning, you going through it, I'm going through it. And that's what it's like when you look at your brother and your sister as your brother and your sister. That is what's always been important in Israelite culture. You not just another nigga, you my brother. You going through it, I'm going through it. And that's the spirit of Christ. That's what we take on when you come into the truth. One brother, one sister's issue or problem, even if it's not your issue or your problem, because that's your brother and your sister, you going through it too. And so when you see, sometimes I'll send out texts to say to everybody, pray for brother so and so, or pray for sister such and such, because we in our camp leader chat, we get notifications when things happen to different brothers and sisters' lives throughout the school, and there'll be messages that come down to send up prayers for so and so, or hey man, I got a situation, my mother about to go into surgery, or man, brother so and so was in a car accident, pray for him. We all come on one cunt, because that's the family we have. We all family in here. Nobody that's going through anything is going through it alone. We all going through it together. When something good happens, brothers and sisters don't just celebrate in private. We all celebrate together. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's supposed to be. Everybody understands. So that's why when you see on Facebook, man, my son got straight A's on his report card. That's not to brag. Right. That's for everybody to be like, man, our boy doing the damn doing the damn thing. It's a communal thing. That's how Israel always has been. So when this thing happened during the time of Purim, everybody's lives was in danger. Everybody's lives was being threatened. So together we all wept and fasted and wailed, because man, we destroyed. Everybody understands? Let's keep reading. Verse 4. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. She tried to comfort him by bringing him some clothes. Come on, hey, Mordecai, what's going on, man? Get out the street, man. Why are you looking like that? What's the matter, man? Everything all right? Here, this is from Esther. Mordecai said, no, I don't want nothing that Esther got to give. You understand? Let's keep reading. Then called Esther for Hatak, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was. So Hatak went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them. Also he gave him a copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him and to make request before him for her people. Everybody understands? So Mordecai gave Esther the news. Esther didn't have the news. Why? Because Esther isn't living in the world that everybody else is living in. Esther is living in the world of one of the king's women. You understand? When you live in that life, you don't know what the hell going on in the streets with the average. You ain't listening to the street gossip no more. She up there, yeah, she a bad bitch doing bad bitch things. I don't know. She ain't living your life, goddamn. She don't know what. She ain't got regular people problems, so she don't know what's going on. She out the loop. Mordecai fills her in and tells her, "Listen, you need to go and do something about it." Everybody understand? Verse 10. Again, Esther spake unto Hatak and gave commandment unto Mordecai. All the king's servants and people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come in unto the king into the inner court who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed, and who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? So Mordecai said, don't think you're going to be safe because you're living in that palace. Don't let your position fool you, because you'll get caught up in this destruction too, and the Lord will find another way to deliver us. How you don't know this is what you was chosen for in the first place? You understand? And that's heavy for a woman to consider when you think about your life. You one of them sisters, you beautiful and you fine, and men choosing you, and there's a lot of favor that's coming your way. You got to ask yourself why. Why did God put me in this position or put me in this place to have these options? What is the purpose? Because of the society we live in, a lot of women think that beauty means that they supposed to be a hoe. You find a lot of women go to the gym, they work out all the time, and they in there doing push-ups and squats and whatever else. They getting BBLs, getting their bodies augmented, and they think that the whole purpose of all of that is to go trap some rich man. Well, and then what? Yeah. A lot of these women, they're beautiful and they have access to things, and they go, at the club and at the party and in all the fancy places with all the rich people, but don't have peace in their life. They don't have anybody who wants them, values them for their true worth. You understand? They're just a piece of meat, just something for a man to do and then throw away. And you should really consider, why am I here? What purpose has God given me? And it isn't just to be a pretty face. Everybody understands. That's what Mordecai was saying to Esther. Don't think that just because you up in there in the king's house that you're gonna be unscathed. Nah, the Lord gonna find somebody to deliver us. And if it ain't you, he'll find someone else. But because you sat silent, right, you're gonna be destroyed. You understand? So Mordecai checked Esther and made her understand that I know you think your life is in danger by going before the king, but your life is in danger if you don't go before the king. Everybody understands? Let me keep reading. Verse 15. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise. So will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish. Everybody understands? What did Esther display here? What did Esther show that she had by answering to Mordecai? I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do it. And if I die, then I die. Shabbat. Courage. Esther had courage. You understand? Esther was a sister who, in the time that she was called upon, she had the courage to do the thing that could cost her life. Right. You understand? And in order to put your life on the line, you have to have courage. What else do you have to have in order to put your life on the line? What else what other virtue or whatever gift do you have to have, do you have to possess in order to put your life on the line? Let's get John chapter 15, verse 13 real quick. Get John chapter 15, verse 13. All right. It's John chapter 15, verse 13. It says, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Everybody understands? Esther had love for her people, man. Esther had love for her nation. You understand? Because she was willing to put her life on the line for her people. And it takes courage, and it takes the ability to love. Everybody understands? What word could I use to describe that though? Um, uh, Selflessness is the one that comes to mind. You know what I'm saying? But I know there's a more powerful word than that. To think of others more than you think of yourself is a gift. It's a skill. Everybody understands, and it's not something that everyone has. Not everyone has the gift to put brothers and sisters' well-being before their own. Esther possessed that gift. Esther possessed that skill. You understand? And that is what she displayed when she said to Mordecai, I'm going to go do it. And if I die, then I die. You understand? But what else did Esther have uh, that allowed her to have the courage to go and put her life on the line? When Esther said, go and have them pray for me and fast for 3 days, what was Esther showing with that? What else did Esther? What other gift did Esther possess? Does anybody know why Esther said have them fast for 3 days and 3 nights?
Well, does it go back to what you said before about how like it's a community thing and if we all we mourn together or pray together?
Mm-hmm.
Does it tie into that as well?
It does tie to that, but what does that do for us? Having that community, having that all togetherness. How is that a gift, or how is that something that works in our favor?
Is it
Genre.
having faith?
Okay, how? How?
Because fasting
Mm-hmm.
is really I don't know.
No problem. That's okay. It's okay to not know. Esther calling on everybody for Esther calling up to Mordecai for everyone to fast for 3 days and 3 nights before she went to present herself to the king. Tells us what about Esther? What gift did Esther possess to make that request to Mordecai? Shawabah said faith. I asked her how. She didn't know. Shekiah. Esther, right? When she decided that she was going to go before the king and put her life on the line in the hopes that maybe she could deliver our people. She told Mordecai to tell everybody to pray and fast, to fast for 3 days and 3 nights, no food or water, before she went to present herself to the king. My question is, what did her making the request for everyone to fast for 3 days and 3 nights tell you about the skill that Esther possessed or the gift that Esther possessed?
Was it like a form of like sisterhood and brotherhood?
Okay, it is a form of sisterhood and brotherhood, but how does that help us? How did that factor into her having courage and her making the decision to go before the king? Why is it important to why didn't Esther just fast for 3 days and 3 nights by herself? Why did she need for other people to fast for 3 days and 3 nights? What did she think that fasting for 3 days and 3 nights would accomplish? Why was that even something that crossed her mind for people to do? That's the reason I'm asking the question. Yum yum ma.
Was it like unity, us being stronger together in numbers and showing support of our sister putting herself on the line to help save us as a nation?
Okay, let's say yes. What does that do for fasting? Doesn't help physically.
Yeah.
How you fasting gonna help me out? What is you fasting gonna do for me? You understand? Esther asked for other people to fast for 3 days and 3 nights. Why? How is she gonna gain from that? That's why Esther would ask for others to fast is what you need to know. Is important for you to know something about Esther. What does Esther know? Or what does Esther believe? How does Esther live her life that she would ask you to fast for her? Ah,
I mean, we all serve the same Lord. She wanted to be known, and we serving the Lord the same as Malachi did. I mean, Mordecai did.
Mordecai. Okay. Okay. Yes. But why? So still, again, why? Why, with knowing all of that, why you need me to fast? Kapadazar.
So like I said, to help their spirit also. Like, um, okay, so fasting won't help me, but it will help you to be like strong too, like in your spirit, not in the flesh, but like in your spirit.
Okay, how does you fasting help me be stronger in the spirit? Or what does you fasting do for me? We both gonna fast together.
Mm-hmm.
How does you fasting help benefit me? And how does me fasting benefit you? Why would I even ask for y'all to fast with me? That's the question. And it's a difficult question, right? Because it doesn't have a logical answer. It doesn't have a you can't it does this is not something that you're going to understand by thinking it through. Everybody understands? Esther knew the power of the Most High. And Esther knew that the Most High respects you denying your flesh. Fasting is about denying your flesh. You understand? And when you deny your flesh, the Lord recognizes it. The Lord sees it. Esther knew she could have just went before the king and just, talked to the king and expected that the king would hear her. But Esther knew the only way that I can be sure that the Lord is going to be with us is if we show the Lord how much we need him. Fasting is a way of showing the Most High, I need you. Everybody understands? Because when you fast, you deny your flesh what it needs. Remember, Christ said this. Let's get this is the answer to the question, all right? This is the answer to why Esther asked for everybody to fast for 3 days and 3 nights before she went to present herself before the king. Everybody understands? Get Matthew chapter 4, verse 4. Matthew chapter 4, verse 4 says, "But he answered and said, It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High." Everybody understands? You want to show the Most High that you understand that you don't live by bread alone. Meaning you don't need to eat to live. I need the Lord to be with me to live. That's what fasting does for you. And to fast for 3 days and 3 nights is a very serious thing to do. It's a serious thing to put yourself through. And to put yourself through that for the Lord to be on your side, it's an extreme measure. It's an extreme way to reach out to the Lord. It's an extreme way to beg of the Most High to act on your behalf. Everybody understands? Think of other situations and circumstances where fasting for 3 days and 3 nights may strengthen you. Think of somebody who has an alcohol problem, and think of them what fasting for 3 days and 3 nights would do for them. You understand? Think of somebody who's a drug addict. If you ever known anyone that has gone through withdrawal, right? Withdrawal is a very seriously physically crippling thing for someone to go to. Someone has been a heroin addict or has been addicted to crack cocaine. Hell, even some of these brothers and sisters who can't stop smoking weed. You tell them to give it up for 3 days and 3 nights. That's impossible. Now add to it food and water. Give that up for 3 days and 3 nights. What does that do to your body? What does it do to your system? What is it, what kind of control can you now have over yourself if you had the discipline to not eat or drink for 3 days and 3 nights? Now there's an awareness within you that I'm stronger than what I thought. Hey, I can do something amazing with myself if the Lord is with me, if the Most High is on my side. That's what the fasting, asking for everybody to fast for 3 days and 3 nights was for Esther and for all the people. Everybody understands? That fast for those 3 days and those 3 nights was to show the Lord we don't need food and water to live. We need you. This situation, we need you, Lord. We need your power. There's nothing that can deliver us except for you. We could starve to death, or I don't know what it's called when you thirst to death. You can thirst to death. We can starve to death, thirst to death. But if you are with us, then we'll be okay. That's what the reason. That's why Esther requested everybody to fast. All right. To sum it up, Esther feared the Lord. That's the simple answer. Esther feared the Most High. That's why she asked for everybody to fast for 3 days and 3 nights, because if we don't do this fast, the Lord may not be with us. If we're going to die anyway, we might as well starve to death. Thirst to death. I got to find out what thirsting to death is, because I got to stop saying thirst to death. Shower bar.
I don't have an answer to that, but that's her virtue?
That was her gift. Her gift was she feared the Lord to where she knew to tell everybody, we got to fast if the Lord won't be with us on this thing. Understand? Because this is a heathen king we talking about.
Right.
He very serious about not being bothered. Like he's very serious about, bitch, leave me alone. If I don't send for you, don't come not. Why are you here? Why are you at my door? They come and say, King, Esther outside. Fuck that bitch want. Why the fuck is she outside? What, man? It better be a good reason why this hoe come and knock on my door. Because if she on some bullshit, you cut off. Yeah. And a woman in that position, why would you want to be cut off? Right. You're living a good life, hoe. Just wait for me to call on you. You ain't got to do shit. Just stay pretty. Stay in that gym. When I call for you, come ready to do your job. Right. A woman in that position ain't gonna bother that man at all. She's so damn afraid of him that I don't want to mess this up. That's why Mordecai said, don't think that you're going to escape judgment. The Lord will find somebody else to deliver us, and you're going to get thrown out anyway. Yeah. So Esther, in order for her to have that courage, in order for her to be able to put her life on the line, she needed strength from the Lord to go and present herself before this evil-ass heathen. Everybody understands? Kapatazan.
So like you say, the term you're looking for is terminal dehydration, or it says a Natremia or something like that.
Okay.
Hypernatremia or something.
Thirsting to death. That's what we're going for. We coined the term, all right? You get hunger to death, you starve to death, or you get thirst to death, all right? Esther said, we're going to fast for these 3 days and these 3 nights so the Lord will see we willing to starve and thirst to death. Everybody understands? And when you understand that was Esther's fear of the Lord, you see how that's a virtue. Let's go back to Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31 and 30 sums up how a woman should be chosen and why a woman should be praised. Proverbs 31 and 30. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Most High, she shall be praised. Esther is a sister who today is praised because Esther was a sister who feared the Most High. Esther ain't praised for that beauty. She not praised for her body or what she did with that king. She's praised because she feared the Lord. And there have been many sisters throughout the generations of Israel that were praised because of their fear of the Lord. Ruth is a sister. Now, I'm sure Ruth was fine. You understand? But that's not why she's remembered. That's not why she's praised. Esther is remembered. Ruth is remembered because Ruth was willing to forsake her entire upbringing, her family, her community, because she wanted to come back with her husband who had died, mother, to the land of Israel because these were her people. This is where she belonged. Everybody understands. She feared the Lord. The sister Susanna. I don't know if y'all know the story of Susanna. It's in the Apocrypha. I'll read that. I'll break that down one day. This is a sister who endured an extremely horrific she went through a very traumatic situation where 2 priests lied on her and said they caught her in adultery because she wouldn't let them run a train on her. You understand? She was fine. That's why they wanted to run that train on her. She's not remembered because how fine she was. She's remembered because she feared the Lord. Everybody understands. All throughout the Bible, the women who we remember in these scriptures are remembered because they feared the Lord. There's a lot of women who were beautiful, but being beauty didn't mean that they had any virtue. Right. Bathsheba, fine as hell. David seen her on that balcony naked. Put the whole kingdom at risk because of how bad this broad was. Right. Had the brother murdered and all of that. Bathsheba was not a virtuous woman. She was not a righteous broad. Everybody understand? And you know that because of what happened with her son Solomon later on after David died. Who else? There's another woman I was just thinking about that they say was fine. Oh, Shakai.
The sister that was married to the king that wouldn't have King David, but he ended up dying or something, and King David married her.
The woman whose husband the woman whose husband was foolish, and wouldn't feed David while he was on the run. Yeah, she feared the Lord. You understand? Here in the book of Esther, the book of Esther starts out with Vashti. That's why I wanted to save Vashti from that till now. Vashti was so bad, so fine, that when the king threw a party, which is what starts the book of Esther, he wanted to show everybody how fine and bad his broad was. That's how bad Vashti was. But as soon as she was given that platform and given that opportunity, she shamed the king. Mm-hmm. Stuck her nose up at him. Nigga, I don't just come when you call me. You got me fucked up. I ain't one of your bitches. They get one of them concubine hoes. You ain't gonna parade me out here and let this and that. And the king said, oh, okay. And all the king's men was like, man, you better check that bitch. You better, because I'm not finna go home and now my bitch gonna do the same. King, you need to deal with that shit. The king said, you know what? Cut that hoe off. Vashti, as fine and beautiful and whatever else she had going, the king shut her ass out. She lost her spot. That's also part of the reason why Esther was so scared to go before the king. You gotta remember, this is a man who was just scolded and burnt by a woman who wouldn't obey him. She thought because she was so fine and had his heart that she could just do whatever she wanted to do. There was a lot of reasons for Esther to be apprehensive or anxious about going before the king. But because she was courageous, because she loved her people, and because she feared the Lord, she was willing to put her life on the line. Everybody understand? When it comes to being virtuous, it's important that sisters understand that every one of you have a gift from the Most High. You understand? There is a, a power that you possess to be able to do great and amazing and wonderful things in the spirit of the Most High if you will just allow yourself to become what He called you to be. Everybody understands? Everyone has a different gift. Not every sister's gift is beauty. Not every sister's gift is uh, being able to what's the word I'm looking for? Conform to this society standards in terms of going to college and getting a degree and getting some high paying job. Not every sister can do the 9 to 5 grind of working for some slave master and being clocking in and clocking out on some slavery. Some sisters have a gift to be able to some sisters can braid hair, some sisters can sew, some sisters can cook, some sisters can just be kind and compassionate. Some sisters just know how to take care of brothers and look out for their people. Some sisters are just nurturing and compassionate and loving. Whatever your gift is, you should thrive and relish and be proud of what the ability the Lord has given you. Everybody understands? Don't allow yourself to get caught up in comparing your gift or what you provide with another woman or what she may be able to do. Everybody understand? General Muhammad said something powerful in the class that he taught recently, and it has been very heavily in my mind since. He said, be thankful for the problems that you do have because they are not the problems you don't. You understand? Whatever you're going through, whatever you're dealing with, whatever life has decided, whatever the Lord has decided you are going to have to struggle with and face in life, be thankful that that is what you have to struggle with, because there are people who are dealing with things that you could never imagine. You understand? And so you got to be thankful for what your gift is and what your plot is in life, because you never know how other people are being able to manage and get through with what they have. You understand? And when it comes to sisters and your value and your worth and what makes you the virtuous woman that you are, be thankful for the gifts that the Lord has given you and allow yourself to shine in that gift and not be, bogged down with trying to measure yourself up to someone else. Everybody understand? Same thing goes for brothers, man. We all have gifts. We all have abilities that the Most High has given us, and not every brother is going to have the same gift, nor should every brother desire the same gift. But you have to find, what has the Lord given me that makes me special, that allows me to be able to add to the body of Christ, to be able to build up the truth, to be able to wake our people, and then stand strong in utilizing that gift. Everybody understands? It's important, man, that we all just be thankful and appreciative of what the Lord has given us, but also build yourself up to be more of that man and that woman that the Most High called you to be, because it's not something that happens overnight. Everybody understands? Those of us who are in the truth, man, we're striving for a crown. We're striving for the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom of heaven is not something that just is going to fall on your head. It's something you have to work to obtain. So work and strive and fight with yourself to constantly improve, to constantly become better, because in the end, the gift and the reward is the gift and the reward that was given to Esther and Mordecai. It's the gift that we celebrate for Purim today. And we are living in a time where um, our lives are in danger. The very existence of our people is being threatened every day. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it can be difficult to think about our people as a whole when you're dealing with your personal struggles and personal problems. You understand? There's a lot that's going on in the world today that this world we're living in is very much on the edge. You know what I'm saying? And things are about to tilt in a way that we're going to need to understand the power of fearing the Lord the way Esther understood the power of fearing the Lord. You understand? So um, pray, fast, uh, thank the Most High for giving you the gifts that He's given you. And on nights like tonight, let's be thankful that we can celebrate and remember sisters like Esther, brothers like Mordecai, and the great courage that they had in the time that they were called on. And pray that the Lord will give us the courage that we need in the time when we called on. And may we be remembered as well. Everybody understand? With that, Israelite School, UPK, out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. For all the brothers and sisters, man, we have classes from 6 to 8, Tuesday through Thursday. 3000 Walnut Grove Road is the address to the school, Suite 215. Calling numbers 901-249-0085. You got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. Get them in contact with the ISUPK. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2024, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. And with that, man, let's eat, let's drink, let's celebrate for Him, and remember the great things the Lord did using Esther and Mordecai to deliver us. And be thankful, man. With that, shalom.